Welcome back to another video from My Random Hobbies, and today we are going to be taking a look at this old Game Boy. As you can see, that side is very grey, almost a natural colour that it would have been, and this side is very yellow. So we're going to have to address that, but also there's a few other issues that we're going to try and address whilst we're doing this. The buttons here, clearly that one there isn't pressing very well, so I'm going to have to look at the pads and maybe replace those. And also it does turn on. I'll see if you can see that. I'll turn the contrast down, but you can see there's significant lines missing when we put the contrast up. Try and do it so there's not a reflection. There we go. And also when you put in some of the games, I've got a few games, and I think essentially there's an issue with the games as well, or perhaps the contacts that the games are playing with. So some of them don't appear to come on at all, whereas this one I think does. When you plug it in, let's adjust again the contrast, so you can see that there is text there. You can see that it is loaded up. This is a Simpsons game, but that said, not all the games do, so I'm going to check the contacts as well. So there we go, so that's my job. So the first job is I'm going to take out the batteries. Just got some AA batteries, Amazon AA batteries in there, and you will see that there are 2 screws in there with tri-wing screws and another 4 here. That's going to be able to allow me to release the back, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, so with the screws out, I'm going to carefully lift up, and you can see there's a ribbon at the back there. I'm going to have to disconnect that ribbon carefully without damaging anything else. Now, before I touch any of the electronics, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put gloves on and then disconnect that by just pulling up that little plug there so that it disconnects from the circuit board. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so having taken the back off and tried to undo the clip, I decided to actually go ahead and remove the screws from the other side of the circuit board, leave that attached because I don't want to force it, and it wasn't coming away cleanly. But I've managed to take off the screws of the other side. This is really grubby. I don't know if you can see the sort of state of the speaker top here and how dirty that is with dust and things. And then also when you look at the buttons, you can clearly see the rubber has perished and is broken away from the pads, which is probably why it wasn't working so well. I actually have a set of replacement pads here, so that's going to be an easy fix. But again, you can see on the replacement pads there's no sort of breaking away there of the rubber, so that should be an easy fix, fingers crossed. So those pads will come off, and I'm able to now get in and clean all the inside parts. So you can see I'm taking off the other pads, which allows me to remove the buttons, which I will store obviously, and I'll give those a wash as well, because you can see there's quite a bit of dirt and grime on these buttons as well, as you would expect. And then again on the inside you can see very clearly the dirt that's built up around the screen and around the buttons and inside. So I'm going to clean that up. I'll use a toothbrush and some mild soap and water to clean that before we go for sorting out the yellowing on the plastic. But for now I'm going to go ahead and try and sort out the lines on the screen. So at the bottom of the screen here you'll see a small rubber strip. I'm going to peel that rubber strip off, and that'll allow me to apply heat underneath that to the contact points along this ribbon, this sort of strip here, and this will hopefully solder back the points and contacts for the LCD screen. So I'm just going to remove that now, and then we'll get the soldering iron set up. Okay, so what I've got is I've got the contrast set up, the power's on, and I'm going to rub the soldering iron gently across here to hopefully try and reconnect all these lines. So again, with the soldering iron, it's just going to be along here, little bit by little bit, until those lines reconnect. Now, I'm not going to do that live on screen because of the sort of camera position that I've got, but I'll come back in a moment, so hopefully you'll be able to see the progress that I've made. So hopefully that's being picked up now, but that screen is now completely pixelated all the way across. Now to turn that off, take the game out and adjust the contrast, turn it back on again. You'll see that it's a completely black screen now. So that's working perfectly. And I've replaced the little rubber strip back on there. There was still enough sort of adhesion on the strip that was already there, so that's all back on now as well. So now I just need to continue dismantling and give this whole thing a good clean. Okay, so I've got everything completely out of the case, and I've got here some soapy water, and I'm going to simply be just cleaning it up so that it's ready for me de-yellowing the plastic. Okay, so I've managed to do my best to clean up all of the grime from the shell on both sides, so that's cleaned up pretty well. So what we're now going to do is we're going to try and sort out the yellowing. You can clearly see the difference in colour there, and I'm going to be applying some hair product, and it's got 12% 40 volume of hydrogen peroxide in there. When smeared over this and then put it in a bag and put it in the sunlight, and hopefully that's going to turn this yellowed plastic into the sort of original colour that it was. So I'm going to give that a go now. Okay, so they're in their plastic bags, they've got the hydrogen peroxide mix on, and they're in the sunshine, or what little sunshine there is. I'm going to leave them for at least a couple of hours and we'll see how it goes after that. So I was delighted with the way this turned out. As you can see, it's fully working, it's all back together, the yellowing has gone largely. I could have spent more time on it to get it even whiter or grey, the original colour, but I didn't. And I've had there having a bit of a play with Tetris. It brought back immediate memories, and the sound, the music playing was just fantastic. So I'm really pleased with this project overall. Thank you very much for watching.